Okay. Pattern recognition. I should say tools. If you're only using half your character's tools, you're only playing with half the character. That's what I should say. Pattern recognition. As I mentioned before, this came up in my last session I had with Demon Hado. And as I mentioned, when we think of pattern recognition, we think about every time this guy wakes up, he presses a button. That's pattern recognition. You're recognizing a pattern within their wake up. Every time they get up, they do this. Every time I press Crouch Fierce, he backdashes. Like that's little moments of pattern recognition. And just as important as it is to notice that in the character, in your opponent, it's important to notice that about yourself. And that's why this came up, because it's hard to notice in the moment when you're falling into a pattern, but you can feel it. You can feel yourself when you know you're responding to every situation the same way, and you know when you have the bar, you're going to do this. And being able to recognize that and avoid it takes a lot of practice, but you can stop yourself if you can recognize it, right? This happens to everyone. It happens to me all the time. And then you watch the replay and it's so obvious to you. It's so obvious. You watch your own replay and like, of course, I already know what I'm going to do. It's going to be fucking stupid. You've said that before, right? All you guys have said that before. You look at your replay like, oh, here we go. I'm going to do the fucking EX and flipping dive, whatever. If you could sense that in the middle of when it's happening, you're basically training yourself to not do what you default want to do. It's the restraint part, right? And the more practice you get, the more it becomes your default setting to actually... It becomes your default setting to ignore your default setting, if that makes any sense. All these people have been training for years and years and years and years. They don't even have a default setting. There's no autopilot there. Everything has been methodically chosen, and everything has more of a reason for it, and it's more sophisticated and developed. Okay, so along with pattern recognition, it goes along with categorizing your opponents. Like just that Cody was like such a perfect example. I started to recognize it gets much harder than to recognize people like him. It gets much harder to recognize much better opponents. But he was a perfect example of someone who has never developed their playstyle. I just got his factory settings. He got hard reset. Just factory settings. This is Cody. And he has never taken the time to develop it further, which means he would never, in 100 games, be able to consistently beat me. Maybe he'll be able to weasel around at me, but there's just no way. I see his options. I see his, and as Demon Hado mentioned, it could feel like I'm in his head, but I'm not in his head. I don't know what he's thinking. I know what he's doing, but you get this feeling that the person is being able to read you, like as a player. Well, really, you're just reading the patterns. Okay. Well, if this is the type of guy to only move forward with risky options like jump forward, and that heavy kick, and that type of stuff, well then he's also more likely to be the type of guy to V-skill in the middle of my block strings. And if he's willing to V-skill in the middle of my block strings, this guy's waking up with a button eventually. Okay? You just get the sense of like, that is a person who is unsure of how to handle the situations, which means he doesn't want to have that type of pressure on him, because waking up and blocking, you have to be ready to handle pressure. And if you can't handle pressure, then you're going to wake up buttons because you just want to alleviate the situation. EXCP, get the fuck out of my life, you know? Or if his back's to the corner, you're telling me when this guy's back's to the corner, he's not going to V-skill my block string, and he's not going to try to jump out right away or just find some crazy ass way to get out. And when he activates V-trigger, that's not the same type of guy to dash up and try to do a immediate momentum changing command grab. At my level of play, which I would say is just only above average, I can easily see that. And just as easily as I can see that, a very, very, very experienced player can see what I'm doing. Just as a black belt can easily see what a blue belt is doing, who can easily see what a yellow belt is doing. But you don't think they could see it. But there's always another level. Like, I'm thinking hard. Daigo is already 3 steps ahead. Any game I take off of him is in the moment and does not last long, because he's already processing what type of player I am, what I'm likely to do in the situation, even when I don't even see this option. How could he have possibly thought I was going to do that there? But there is an answer. It's not as mystical as it seems. Alex Noah, you're also someone that I can reliably wait for that opportunity just based on your patterns. Your dash up light kick, your dash up crouch light kick, and a dash up throw. These are all things that are not developed. You haven't developed that part yet. Popsicle says, or no, who said that? Intrinsic, I'm starting to think that you need to not have a default playstyle. You need to form an approach based on the opponent. You do need to have a default playstyle because you can't think 100% of the time. You can't think 100% of the time. You have to have some sort of standard. So I see what you're saying. You should be thinking as much as possible. But you do have your structured setups and all that stuff, like set play. You have your set play, you know? If I do crouch light kick or crouch light punch, I'm doing crouch medium kick. I don't have to think about that. That's already set in stone what I'm going to do there. It's very hard to stop. The fact that someone would try to EXTP through that is nuts. You see what I'm saying? There's no reason to not do that. You can't jump out of it. So it's not something I have to think about. The only thing I'm looking for is a confirm. Okay. Idom is exceptional. He's actually so good at it that I don't even think he can explain how he does it. Like if I were to ask, hey, how did you know I was going to do that? Well, I don't know, I just felt it. That's all he would tell me. You wouldn't be able to get the right answer out of him, which is why I wish people like him would practice elaborating, because he would be a really... He has this knowledge that would be very valuable to new players if he was able to elaborate what he was saying, or elaborate what he was thinking, because he so quickly adapts to what your options are. It's insane. It's like, can you please elaborate on exactly what triggered you to believe that I was going to do that? Kendricks brings up an interesting point. A lot of players give away everything in the first 10 seconds by doing something incredibly stupid. When you are first playing this game, you might have heard someone say to you, you don't want to show all your cards in one time, or you don't want to show all your cards in one game. And I don't think, especially me, I can only speak on myself, I didn't really understand the value of what they were saying about that. Don't show all my cards. Well, how am I supposed to beat people if I don't use my tools I have? But the point of that is to not show exactly what type of player you are right out the gate. If you're going to do an EXTP right away, and that's what you like to do, that's not a good thing. But if you EXTP right away and then never do an EXTP again, it's a lot harder to tell what kind of player you are. So when you're taking in information from what you're doing, okay, I'm going to do an EXTP here, but then I'm not going to do it again for another like 3 games. Just so they always have to think in their head, like, this guy EXTP'd in the first game. All right, this guy's a lunatic. But are you? Are you a lunatic? Or are you planting little seeds of knowledge? You're like disguising your intent, right? Wake up buttons, EX demon flips, demons, raging demons on the 50-50s. The type of person like me to put people in 50-50s to that big gamble. I'm a risky player. I take risks with a low health character. Optimal? Hard to say. Probably not. But you do need to take risks in this game in order to establish things. You need to. Everything has some sort of risk to it. Even seemingly impossible things have some sort of little risk. Like if I'm playing Daigo and he throws a Sonic Boom and I just happen to jump right on that frame and get the jump in, it is a risk. It's not 100% chance that won't happen, you know? It's not based on my skill or his skill. It's just he happened to jump right when I threw a boom, or vice versa, and I just happened to get the jump in on him, you know? Sagat, trash character. I hate him. Has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Okay. So being able to constantly be aware of what you're doing, and being able to tweak what you're doing so that the character can never get a read on you is key. But it's so much easier to say while we're talking than just do that, because It's already so much information. Like, Jesus Christ, I have to pay attention to what this character's doing, and then I have to make sure I'm not repeating patterns and all that stuff. Of course. That's why these guys who've been playing for 20 fucking years or so are way better than you. They were already done with that 10 years ago, and now they get to think about other things. I think GLB was the one who brought that to my attention, where I'm sitting here thinking hard about what I'm trying to do, and Daigo's already done that a long time ago. He by the time I started this game, he had already been training in fighting games for like 20 years. How do I expect to reach that level of mentality in a short amount of time like that? It's just, you got to put in the time, and he's put in the time and the effort. Of course. If he wasn't a better player than me, I'd be concerned. Are you saying that you need to do certain things just to put ideas in the opponent's head? Absolutely. For sure. If I play a Colleen and the first thing they do is an EX parry on my wake up, I have to think about that all the fucking time now. Or if I was an even more advanced player, maybe I don't even consider that. That's when those things, when you try to pick and choose what you're thinking about, can accidentally level the playing field. Because what if this is the type of player to EX parry on wake up, right? He's a risk oriented player who's willing to take the momentum with a giant risk, right? On wake up. But I believe that they're never going to do that again. Nah, he's not going to do that again. You know what just happened, right? We talk about this all the time. I just brought myself back up, and now I try to do something else, and he does it again. And I think to myself, oh my god, I can't believe they did it again. Well, is that the fault of the person waking up with the EX, or is that your fault? Was there another indicator that the person gave you that should have been able to tell you, no, this is the type of guy to wake up with that shit every time? And if not, they're a good player. If a high-level player is unable to see that a person is going to wake up EX more than once, maybe they're playing better than you thought, because there should have been some sort of signal that this is the type of player to do that as a default wake-up setting. So, and if they don't, and you think that, that's too is a good play. So this is part of like giving your opponent credit for what they're doing in an attempt to try to get a real read on what these players actually want to do. Okay. This guy, this last Cody I played, fell right into everything I thought he was going to do. A slightly better player would have been able to tweak his game plan a little bit for me to have to think just a little bit more on one more layer. Like instead of taking the risk moving forward, if he were to just actually move forward a block, and get a throw on me and then add the pressure, then I feel a little different. Like, okay, he's made a change. Is he going to keep that change, or is he eventually going to revert right back to where he is? Because as a player, if I was playing him on the second game and he changed like that, I would think, truthfully, that this adaptation is not going to last very long. I'm going to let him make his adaptation, but it's only a matter of time before he goes back to his default setting. It's only a matter of time before he takes that risk. And I know people see that about me. Basically, anyone that's not on like the highest echelon of the in the highest tier, where it's just people could do a certain thing for a certain amount of times, but we don't have unlimited attention span. So it's just a matter of time before you revert to what you're comfortable with. Glitter, to throw you under the bus a little bit, we could play this every time, where you have these pockets of really solid gameplay where I think to myself, like, man, if she keeps this up, I'm actually going to have a hard time here. But in the back of my head, I know you're not experienced enough and haven't been playing long enough. I know that you're eventually going to revert to your standard of gameplay that you're used to playing in more often. So it's a good thing that you're practicing that more solid gameplay, and it's only a matter of time before that's your standard. What I see in you in those pockets of when you're playing really well, when your defense is really strong, and you're countering my V-trigger because you waited for it, there have been times when I do jump air V-trigger fireball, and I get you with that all the fucking time, but then there's sometimes when I see that you're aware of it, and you get out of the way and you counter me, that will be your default someday. You know, that's what you strive for, are those pockets. You know how you say, I keep up with diamonds but I lose the golds? You know what that is, right? That's you playing better, and then you playing poorly in other times. That's not, I can't handle golds, but I can handle diamonds, so that means I'm a better player. No, there's times when you turn it on and times when you turn it off. And if you don't have that consistency, you're right where you should be skill-wise, you know? Of course, there are exceptions. Daigo has been playing an elite level for longer than Punk, but has been alive, and Punk still wins every time. Not true. He doesn't win every time. And besides, I mean, some people are just gifted in a sense that they can, that things come faster, and all the experience that Daigo has doesn't necessarily translate to Street Fighter V. But at the end of the day, Daigo is a far more developed player. Far more. Far more. Does that mean he's going to win every time he plays Punk? No. But to say that Daigo is not a more developed player is a total lack of skill recognition, in my opinion. It's clear to me that Daigo has done far more. Far more. So the least experience you have, the more likely you are to come back to bad habit. That's a fair thing to say. Yeah. Popsicle, if you were to go into a tournament right now, I would see the absolute worst of you. I would see all your bad habits just fucking come to fruition. And it's not your fault. Your bad habits would just flood out of you. Everything, I was watching my match, what was I doing? After every hit, crouch, medium kick, I was doing forward heavy punch, it just came out of me. All the bad habits just... A tournament brings out the worst and best of you simultaneously. All your bad habits are going to come out. All the things that you've been working on are going to come out. And then you're going to have those pockets of clarity. You know, like when I got those dash demons, I was 100% certain those were going to work. I got the read. He wasn't reacting to my dashes. He was being a reactionary player, but dash demon is just too fast. And I just thought, this is what I'm going to do. I didn't dash demon any other time before that, so that was a total read. Risk? Yeah. But how much of a risk? He didn't stop any of my other dashes. What makes me think he was going to stop that? Gloaming says, and even if that were true, not even Punk wins every match. It's true. That's just a false statement that Punk wins every time. He's got his faults, but he's a gifted player. He's a gifted player. He saw his game plan a lot faster than most people. I honestly think Intrinsic says, I honestly think you have to learn to not fall on these defaults at high level. Like, you really need to just play the opponent as things are consistently changing, for sure. That's but what I was talking about was set play. You know, like, you can have your set play. It's strong. If you have strong set play, you can use it. You have to be extremely comfortable with your character to really play the opponent. Yeah, knowing all the options. No, because knowing all the risk reward is super important. For example, Vega's EX Sky High Claw in the corner is really not a good idea, but if they have V-Trigger, it's a good idea. So just knowing that, that's a very basic thing. But someone like Kendricks or anything that only a true Vega main would be very aware of in the situation. Like, whenever I watch a player who's not an Akuma loyalist, I could tell when someone's not an Akuma loyalist. I could tell when someone's good with Akuma. I could tell when someone's putting time in Akuma. But I could tell when someone's not a dedicated Akuma main. I could tell. There are Smurfs in casual because it's a good way to practice a new character. That's what I assume. I can always tell all these Akuma tech monsters, Sheldon, even though, however you feel, if like, say if we put Zaffarino versus Sheldon, if Zaffarino were to win, I would still be able to see who's the Akuma loyalist. Just because, you know, he's like Zaffarino's like a skilled player. I still see optimization when I see it. Hey, Popsicle, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that's probably what's going on.
You can use any weapon you want.
Kendricks, that's also a good point. That's also a good point. I was never like that. I only had one account. I mean, my main account before I started this one was like, you know, 60,000 matches of pure suffering. All right, let's move on. Taking notes. Show of hands who actually fucking takes notes. And then another show of hands who actually reads those notes. I can read off to you guys in 5 seconds how many notes I have. These are all notes for you guys. My clients, if you will. And then we have Akuma notes. I have Jury, I have Rog, I have notes from particular streams. Hey, you guys want to see my streams? Here's my notes from what looks like June 29th. This is going to be huge to you guys. This is going to be absolutely huge. Oh, wow. Wow, that's quite the note-taking you got there. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's, how am I not the best player in the world, I would say. Yeah, wow, I think I narrowed it down. That's pretty much the meta. I gotta consolidate all this. Yeah, no, so I'll be the best in no time. So what that is actually... Oh, here we go. Here's a real thing. Check this out. Okay? I haven't looked at this in months. This was... I don't even know when this was. Tightening, crouch, medium punch, micro walk, crouch, medium punch. Stand, light kick, crouch, heavy punch. Those are things I actually implement. So, as I mentioned before in someone else's stream, you're not exactly writing things down to remember them later. You're writing things down to remember them now. Crouch, medium kick, shimmy, forward throw, walk forward, crouch, medium kick. What the fuck?
This fight better be worth my time.
Oh, I think in the corner. Oh, I see. Yeah, you throw them in the corner and then walk forward with a crouch medium kick instead of using crouch fierce and stand medium punch like I usually do. I've been using crouch medium kick. I actually do that. After throw stun, light DP LK Tatsu. That's something I actually need to do more often. I always do just light DP. And there was a situation where if I did LK Tatsu, I would have had the critical art. So that's not a small deal. Demon flip after MK Tatsu and red fireball. Yeah, I do that now. Against some of the cast. Delay, light kick, demon flip, palm, and dive kick. Oh. Yeah. This is when I was really interested in dive kicking throw techs. Remember that? I haven't even thought about that. My HK Tatsu micro walk jump heavy kick on no DP characters. I actually probably prefer this demon flip there. Fixing back throw out of corner. I actually have fixed that. So I haven't looked at these notes in a long time, but if I watch this, I've actually fixed a lot of these. Like I don't back throw out of the corner on accident as much. I hold down back and I throw them out of the goddamn corner. Dash. I still don't dash in neutral. No matter how much I fucking teach myself and think to myself, dash more in neutral. What's up, Demon Dan? Crouch, medium punch, throw. Okay. Light red fireball. V-trigger cancel, dash, crouch heavy punch. I don't do that. Oh, is that the parry OS? Sweep whiff punishing? Yeah, I do that more often. Parry OS? Yep. That's finally in my blood for sure. Although people don't parry people are smart enough to not parry the jump. Oh, it's supposed to say jump heavy punch, I think. Keep crouch medium kick. In tournaments. I used crouch medium kick in my last tournament. I did it. I beat Rushdown with it. What do I mean in the notes by stand, light kick, crouch, light punch? Crouch, heavy punch. Stand, light kick, crouch, heavy punch beats delay tech. If you're doing like a tick throw and someone's trying to delay tech on the last frame, it'll beat throw tech, delay throw tech. Okay. Stand medium kick, V-skill kick on whiff punish. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I get that. I should be doing it on wake up too. Wake up, stand light punch, stand medium kick, V-skill kick. I should be doing that on wake up instead of the Tatsu that I normally go to, but I've been doing that for years, so it's kind of hard to get it out. Way bigger jump in damage. The thing that me and fucking Sanford got in a heated argument about. Crouch, heavy punch, float. Okay, this is a tough one. Crouch, heavy punch, float, crush counter confirm into corner. You guys see what I mean by that? Or I'm sorry, when they backdash, I don't know how to set that up easily. Oh yeah, we could just do this. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, Alex, when we're talking about a tool set here, we're talking about a tool set, adding to our tool set. The more tools you have, the more opportunities you're given. If you only have one tool, then you don't have very many opportunities, do you? Okay, so taking notes. What I'm trying to say is I take some notes sometimes. Sometimes I won't take notes for months at a time, and then I'll just take notes on what I'm currently doing and what I would like to do. And actually, to my surprise right now, a lot of that stuff is retained. Matchup stuff though, like I just read right there. Is it still here? I just read that Ken stand light kick is -1. I actually didn't remember that. B-Mock in the building. What's going on, B-Mock? Crouch heavy punch -7. Crouch medium punch. Crouch heavy punch. Crouch medium light red fireball not punishable. When you're playing as Akuma, crouch heavy punch into crouch medium kick light red fireball cannot be punished by stand light kick. That's why I wrote that. No neutral jump because your crouch fierce is fucking brain, chicken breast brain. See, I have all these, I take little notes here and there. Stand light kick +1, I did retain that. Stand medium kick HPDP. Yeah, to beat the balls. To beat the balls out of them. Checking all the V skills with sweeper crouch medium kick on Guile, of course. HK rainbow ball punishable on recovery. I think I meant to put that because it's a lot more recovery than you might imagine. You can medium Tatsu his sweep. That's one thing to remember. When you play Blanca, you can't sweep his sweep back all the time, but you can medium Tatsu it. EX Yoga Flame into V skill 2 LP Yoga Fire slide. Okay, EX Yoga Flame into V skill 2. Oh, okay, so EX Yoga Flame hits, then they do V skill 2 to charge the fireball, to charge the Yoga Fire, and then they throw the Yoga Fire and slide, and that's how you beat that. Okay. Chun-Li, the double dash is negative after fireball. I think that's space dependent. I think I just learned about that. What's going on, Loanator? Using red fireball to bait air legs in whiff punish. Yeah, that's sick. You throw a red fireball, they jump up in the air, try to dodge it, and they notice that they're going to fall on it, so they do a air legs. The recovery is actually kind of crazy. Stuff like that. So I do take notes sometimes. I don't take a lot. But it's important to sometimes write down what you're thinking, just like a journal. I don't take notes to do research. I take notes just to kind of... It kind of helps me stick it in my head a little more. Like, okay, I really need to remember this particular thing. Like the whole Cammy stand light kick +1 thing and not +2 is huge. That changed the Cammy matchup for me. Here I am holding stand light kick like, as if I can never do anything about it, but you can. You can. Okay, so take notes, put them in a folder, look at them every now and then. I would say I don't ever tell you guys to do things that I don't do. So I have a hard time keeping track of my notes. So I'm not gonna say, you know, do this, but I'm gonna say just jot them down, look at them. You know, I'm having trouble checking dashes. Someone brought this up the other day. Again, there are people who are better at checking dashes than me. But what I've been doing, and when you watch that Rushdown match, I checked almost all of his dashes. I checked like 4 out of 5. And that was because I was waiting for him. You have to kind of wait for it. You can't just be in the middle of your gameplay and then, oh, he's dashing, let me press a button. You know, you have to like, okay, this is the spacing in which they want to dash. Or he dashes every time he presses stand light kick and then he does dash. You kind of have to have like a read to check the dash. Okay, so before we get to the next topic, what does Demon Dan want me to see? Here, check my last post. Okay, bro. A little pushy, are ya? A little pushy. Did you tag me in it? I love Jay. Demon Dam. How do I don't even know how to use this fucking website. Demon Dam. There he is. Is this what you're talking about? It's funny, but I don't get the reference. I don't, do I have to, how do I have played this game to get the reference?
This boredom makes me yawn.
Oh, they put, it's from the new Smash character trailer? Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I don't get it. But I like the idea here. Stupid but good. Yeah, guys, I chopped up my NLBC run pretty well. So if you want to watch it on YouTube, you don't have to sit through like the whole stream. I tried to narrow it down to about a half hour of just me saying funny things and my matches. So you can look over it like that. What's going on, Sea Dragon? Anyone use Hotbox? I think you mean Hitbox. Is your emotes the Mario emote and the Demon emote? I think. Oh wow, is that really the case, or is that just coincidence? Because that's amazing. That went way over my head. Wow. Kendrix uses Hitbox Dragon Tech. What do you need help with? I saw that, but again, I saw that picture before, but I didn't know what it was about. I'm always behind on fucking that type of shit. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I wish I would have got the reference initially. Anyway, Glitter, it shouldn't really be bothering you that people are Smurfs. What difference does it make?
This boredom makes me yawn.
Is having a high win percentage in casuals a good thing, or should I keep playing rank? Do whatever you want as long as you're thinking about getting better and not thinking about your win rate. If you can keep a calm head in ranked, and you can stick to the game plan in ranked, play ranked. But the problem is most people can't. Ranked is fine in itself as a tool, but if you can't keep your composure and you start to get pissed because a Diamond Alex took your win streak, well then, maybe you should try something else. But if you're really good at keeping your composure and really good at not letting things get to you, people can do just fine in ranked. There's just some people who genuinely don't get pissed off.
Gotta exercise every once in a little while.
I feel like ranked makes people feel a certain opponent or a certain way because they hate losing the LP. Yeah, I mean it does suck because you lose one game and you lose LP. So and then if you're a grandmaster, you lose one game against a diamond. It's like you're at a deficit no matter what. It's pretty demoralizing. I don't think there should ever be a situation where you lose. You should at least come out equal. If you lose to a diamond one game and you beat them two, you should come out equal. You shouldn't fucking lose 70 points for winning a set. Ever since I started streaming again, keeping composure and ranked has become slightly easier. The one thing to be aware of, Alex, is the more you stream, the more comfortable you become on camera, the more the real you comes out. So I've noticed that even though I'm doing pretty good lately, I've slipped a few times and I've said some shit. You're at a deficit? Well, no. Only like Grandmaster and above are at a deficit, right? Yeah, Kendrix, the only thing is when you stream a lot and you get super comfortable, you start to your real you starts to come out a little bit more. I'm a coach who wants me to get to 75% in, I think you mean casuals. Yeah, before going. I think that's a really weird, arbitrary goal. I don't get that goal. Get 75% casuals before you go into ranked. I don't get that. It's weird to me. It doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, yeah. But casuals is just the goal is in the name. What is a try hard win rate supposed to mean in casuals? Like, why do you think you should not be running into Smurfs and stuff? It's a casual match, just playing casual, and Smurfs are allowed to do that too. And you're, I don't know. I don't like that goal, but he's your coach and he wants you to do that, and you want to follow it. You do it. I'm just saying. I think that makes no difference. I really don't. Well, why would you not just play ranked? Because I can't just coast through ranked. Are we trying to coast here? Are we trying to coast? You ain't trying to coast. Anyway, I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna be able to deter you from your current goal. I get it. Good luck. I truly wish the best for you. Now, moving on to the future of the stream. I gotta change things up in the future, you guys. Next week, I might be moving my stream forward 1 hour, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's looking like a big possibility. And in the future, I will be doing different games, and you will be seeing some evening streams as well. Those are some guaranteed things happening. I don't know when, but shirts are coming. I'm gonna really start expanding what I'm doing, and as the stream has gotten bigger, I have been doing more and more and more and more, and I don't plan on stopping. So it's only up from here, you know. Everything has been moving up for me. The more work I put into the stream, and I love seeing things improve. And every time I pick up something new, streaming is something new for me. When I took up guitar, I took it seriously, but I wasn't very disciplined, but I took it seriously. Then when I took up exercise, I took it very seriously with a little more discipline. Well, some would say with a lot, but in my relative thinking, it wasn't. I could have been more. And then Street Fighter, I pursued it even harder. And now, so it's like now the next step is streaming, and like it takes up most of my mental capacity outside of like boobs and stuff, you know. So this is my next step. I'm going to keep adding on top of it, and you know, I'm just gonna have to take the hit here, as Rich recommended. I'm going to need to branch out and try different games and do different things, because as much as I will gain a steady growth in viewership by always playing Street Fighter V, I think it'd be good to just stick my toes in different pools of opportunity and just see what works, you know, because I think a lot of you guys hang out here because you want to hang out with me, and Street Fighter's sick and Akuma is sick, but really at the end of the day, we're all just kind of hanging out and talking shit while we land raging demons. So yeah, so maybe if I can keep up with the conversation, and maybe we can apply Street Fighter to new games and stuff like that. So hopefully a lot of you guys would stick with me in my new pursuit. I'm gonna have to really sit down at the desk and really put thought into what's up, Mag? How did your sets with Kevin Malone go? You know, I'm gonna have to really hash it out. Real talk, I'm here because I feel like you and I would be boys in real life. I'm telling you guys, Combo Breaker, Demon Dan, I don't know if you go to events often. The only one of you guys I feel like I've seen in real life is actually Mag. I talked to you, Mag, for like a few. We played in tournament. We played in casuals. Or, I'm sorry, we played in pools, and you fucking. It was a close game, but you got me. Yeah, for sure. All you guys too, except for everyone except for who do I want to hate today? Yeah, we played. I think.
Gotta exercise every once in a little.
Yeah, it was the second combo breaker I went to, so I think 2017. Is 2016 the first year of Street Fighter 5? Yeah, so it was the one after that. I didn't make it very far in my first one, but my second one I was doing okay. I think I was 3-2. I don't think it was losers finals of the pool. I think I would have had to beat you and then someone else, because I can't remember if you made it out. To be honest, I'm here because your boldness to talk about things and not hold back punches when teaching things like damn views. I thought you was Ultra Silver. I mean, that had nothing to do with your gameplay. I just don't recall what everybody is, because there's a lot of players out that are there's a lot of people on maybe like the lower spectrum, and I only say that because like I have to have some sort of marker, but that are trying to pick their game up, and I think that's sick. If there's one good thing to come out of the coronavirus, it's the fact that people are stepping it up. It seems like maybe the highest level people are kind of relaxing a little bit, and all these people who are just getting into the game are trying to like step it up, or who have been playing the game for a while but never thought to make that clutch, that goal to like, all right, let's step this up a little bit. So that's good.